Well, hello, Rebecca.
Hello. How's it going?
Doing good. I have a question for you.
All right.
To start the day.
Okay.
What's one of your favorite places in the world to go?
Well, the most magical place on earth, of course, Disney World.
Disney World in
Yes.
Orlando, Florida.
I love Disney World.
We've been there a few times.
Yeah, we have.
So what's one of your favorite shows at Disney World?
I have a feeling my very favorite show would be the Frozen sing-along, but no one will ever go with me. So
sorry, you have all boys.
I know. Nobody wants to go sing Let It Go with me. I'm going to have to just go by myself one day. But until then,
you need to let it go.
I will try to let it go. Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular.
The Epic Stunt Spectacular.
Yes.
It is. We have watched that
so many times.
Since we were married. The first year we went was maybe 94.
Yeah.
That we went to go and we saw Indy.
Yep.
And everyone knows Indy's my favorite.
That's right.
Like I'm big time Indy everything. So guess what I saw on the news recently?
What's that?
When the Dial of Destiny came out, very underrated movie. You should go see it. Well, it's on digital now, so you should rent it and watch it. It's really good. Harrison Ford is amazing in it.
It is good. And I don't say that lightly.
That's right. At the red carpet of that, I saw a story that kind of piqued my interest. And I'm like, oh, we need to check into this.
Yeah.
And it was the original Indy and one of the original Marions that were the stunt people in the Epic Stunt Spectacular in Florida.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is such an amazing story. They got to go to the red carpet of the movie. They felt like superstars. They met Harrison Ford. They got to see the movie with Harrison in the theater. And I'm like, we need to talk to them.
We do need to talk to them.
Yes. So I reached out to them and they were so gracious. And we just talked to Indiana Jones and Marion.
That's right.
From the Stunt Spectacular.
And now we're going to share this with you and you are going to die. If you are a big time Indy fan, and even if you're not, these people are amazing. They are a stunt woman and a stunt man. They do amazing things. We're going to learn so much from them. It's so cool. Enjoy this interview with Kevin and Michele. So anyways, we want to talk all things Indiana Jones, of course. He's a huge,
I'm pretty big Indy fan.
Huge Indy fan. Yeah. So how did you guys land these roles?
I'll start. 34 years ago, when this show actually was 35 years ago, when the show was being thought up, they knew that they wanted it to be the biggest and the best. And Disney initially went to Glenn Randall, who was the stunt coordinator for all the movies, and actually Glenn Randall Jr. Glenn Randall Jr. is actually the original Boba Fett from the stunt Boba Fett from the Star Wars. Yeah. So this man was a stunt coordinator. Yeah. He was directing.
He's a legend. He really is. He truly
Such
is.
A legend.
Yeah.
And Disney went to him because they wanted this to be the biggest and the best. And at that time, like I said, he was a stuntman himself. He was directing. He was doing all this stuff.
He was busy doing other stuff. He really didn't need to do.
He didn't want to do a stunt show in a theme park. And he said, well, you know what? I'm just going to ask for the world. I'm going to ask for a great salary. I'm going to ask for
something they will give me. Yeah.
A 400-pound boulder.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for everything that they won't give me.
Right.
And then Disney came back the next day and said, yeah, you got it. And he said, well, crap. Now I have to direct the show. So it was Glenn Randall Jr. who came to Orlando. And this was a big, huge secret. Yeah. Disney was not letting out of the bag that they were going to have a stunt show. So those of us that were lucky enough to audition, I always auditioned for an action character named Jack. That's all I knew.
That's all you knew.
And pardon me?
That's all you knew?
That's all I knew, right? It was just an action character. And I was given some lines, and that initial call came from casting about auditioning for the action character named Jack. And then I had the audition. 3 months later, I got another call from casting asking if I'd like to be Indiana Jones. And I said, I didn't audition for that. And they said, yes, you did. You just didn't know it. And then I don't want to, I want to say that we had to sign like an NDA at the time. We had to keep everything very quiet. I'm not sure if that, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's a long
but
time
we did,
ago.
we kept it quiet. And then we were handpicked by Glenn Randall Jr.
Wow.
And we went into a 9-month rehearsal process.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
In a warehouse on a makeshift stage and scaffolding that was supposed to be the buildings. And Glenn brought in Larry Holt and Bob Yerkes, and they helped train this group of actors and dancers and some stuntmen and how to be stuntmen and stunt women. All how to use a whip, how to throw a punch, take a punch, the whole thing. It was 9 months of that.
Wow.
And now Kevin is the original. You're the only original. He's the only. This is the only original.
Well, they're still they're alive,
well,
but they
no, I don't,
they're not in the show.
Oh my God, that sounds.
The
really
others
bad.
are alive.
He's not the only living one. He's the
Okay,
yeah,
original one.
I'm glad you flared that up
You're
there.
welcome. You're welcome.
But in the show, he is really the only original. I'm the second group, myself, and there's also there are a couple other. Robert Herrick is really the only other one, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that we came 6 months later, so they realized they had this set group of people that they trained, that these people needed some other help because injuries, you need a backup. There's all kinds of stuff like that. So that's how I was lucky enough also to work with Glenn Randall Jr. And so I got the same kind of training. I'd say not as extensive because
not as long, but
not as long. And also Indy is much more extensive to Marion, but I got trained. We have got the best training there.
But we had also fine-tuned everything.
Yeah.
In those 9 months of rehearsal, we were fine-tuning the script and deciding what the show was going to be,
Right.
So by the time Michelle came in, we already had a set script. Everything could be shortened down.
Exactly. I was working with one of the tumblers, an original tumbler, who I did some kind of like dancing and just other kind of production work.
She was a can-can girl.
I was a can-can dancer. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyhow, so I danced and he said, oh my gosh, you'd be perfect for the Marion role, and got me into, they had a closed audition. That was the first auditions they had after the original. So I came in there on a closed audition, and that's how I never even saw the show. I had no idea I didn't know what I was going to do. Never seen anything because it really hasn't been.
Who was the original tumbler that you worked with?
Eric Neal.
Oh,
he's the one who, he passed away.
Yeah.
The person that actually helped me get into the audition.
An amazing
human being. Yeah, I loved him. So I'm very grateful for him to get me in there. It was awesome.
That's so cool. So prior to all of that, what did you have some stunt background, both of you?
My background. My background is gymnastics. I started when I was 8 years old. I did all through private club, competitive. I went to college on a college scholarship. Then I went into cheerleading and I did fitness competition. I did aerobic competition. I did tons of stuff like that. But gymnastics is my background, and that's kind of my athleticism in the show. And learn. I had never done stunts though, so I had never done any throwing punches, anything. I was trained at Disney. Yeah.
Wow. It's kind of the same way. I would say I didn't have a gymnastic background. I was just athletic.
Mhm.
And then when I came to Disney, they saw me as a dancer. I wasn't, but
yeah, but you can dance.
I guess I could.
He can move. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But I moved athletically.
Yes.
And that is what Glenn saw, because he
Right.
knew he needed someone to help choreograph that first scene with the punjies.
Yeah.
And that was going to require somebody who could really
knew their body, knew how to move well. And again, like he's saying, athletically, not, dancing helps, but you don't want to look like a dancer doing it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. Even though
Exactly. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, when
So,
you were talking about the
exactly.
rehearsals, a question came to mind. What is the boulder made of?
Hmm.
Like, what's the Can you tell us what the boulder's made of? Is that a top secret thing or
And
anything?
did you ever not
It
outrun?
is not top secret.
No.
It is not top secret. Do you remember those red 4 square balls that you
Oh,
used to
yeah.
have as a kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty much like that. It's just
Really?
400 pounds. It's rubber.
Okay.
It's rubber.
It's rubber, but it does weigh that much, 400 pounds.
Now, I am sure that if anyone who is listening to this it happens to be someone who works on the boulder would probably say, "Oh, Kevin, you're an idiot. There's so much more to it than that." There very
Right.
well may be more to it than that. But
Right.
from what I was told, it was rubber. I can tell you though that in the beginning, they actually had water in the boulder to help it roll,
Yeah.
to help that momentum,
Right.
really get up to speed. And then they found that did not work. So they took it out.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You asked, have you
Did
ever
you?
gotten run over by the boulder?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. So there was one time. So I had been run over by the boulder many times because as we got more
Comfortable
with it,
yeah.
right? We would the boulder would be behind me and we would be
To like catch
pushing
like,
against it, to not
Yeah.
to try to stop it, but kind of try to stop it. And then it took my jacket
Oh,
and couldn't get my arms out, and it took me down, but it took me down sideways. So I landed. The boulder kind of sits on rails, right? These are the rails, and then there's 2 sides like this, and you run on the flat part, right?
yeah.
So the boulder kind of pinned me up against the side rail
Oh,
and
man.
dislocated my shoulder. And I didn't know that it dislocated my shoulder. I stood up to finish and I heard in the audience in front of me, there was an audible gasp because my shoulder wasn't there. It was
Oh,
back somewhere.
oh man.
I looked down at my understudy and I went, "Go get ready."
get ready now. Yeah.
I finished my lines and got off stage.
Yeah. I
Do they
think
have
that
someone there to like pop in for you? Because is there someone always standing right there?
Always.
that's why when we say that you always have to have a backup,
Yeah.
so we have the one person who's doing the show, then there's always a backup Marion, backup Indy, backup
Yeah.
Giant, because of things happen. It's a
Right.
stunt show. It's got,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's built into the show.
Yeah.
There's 3 other characters that
Right.
are 3 principals as well.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that
Michelle,
makes
have you
sense.
gotten hurt on the show?
Well, yes, I have.
Let's
Let me
let's
think.
see.
I've had my nose broke twice at the show. I
that from
also had
punches?
and punches. Yeah. One was on a gut punch, it was years ago. Both of them were years ago. And another one was I was doing the tumbler roll and an Indy punched me in the nose.
This
yeah.
Indy? He
No,
broke-
not this Indy.
Not
No,
this Indy.
no. No.
Okay.
So yeah, it happens,
But that's just
part of
the business.
Yeah, we try our best, and that's why when we're training, we teach them everything of even what to watch out for, why you don't do this, because if you do this and you lean, you may get your head busted. You need
Yeah.
to stay back here, or whatever the case may be. Because again, things happen. I've done this show for so many years. I actually I have a full knee replacement
Wow.
that I had. It's been about over a year ago, year and a half ago, maybe,
Yeah.
or something like that. So,
Wow.
but I'm still doing the show with
Still
a full
doing
knee replacement. And I've learned to adapt the show to myself, but still have the same energy, still do everything great. How you know what I mean? Correctly, but I've adapted it to myself with my knee.
And there again, I'd
Yeah.
like to I think we both would like to give
Yeah.
kudos to Glenn Randall Jr. because he instilled in us all those years ago, you're a stunt man and you
Yeah.
are stunt women,
This
and sometimes you're going to get hurt,
It
and
happens.
the show must go on.
Right.
Yeah.
It can't stop,
Yeah.
just because of something. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotta go.
Michelle, you said it was a gut punch that broke your nose. These are not close together. How does someone miss your gut and hit your nose?
Well, when I did the gut, he went forward, and it could have been a combination of both of us at the time.
His head.
His head basically came and hit into my nose. His
Okay.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, you were gut punching him. Okay, I got
Yes,
it.
I was gut punching him. Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
that makes more sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very careful now when I'm like, I love my nose. Leave my nose alone, boys.
Beautiful.
I don't want to get it fixed again. No more casts.
So what as you ramped up to do your parts, what was the hardest stunt or the hardest sequence for you to get down? Like, what was the hardest challenge? I'm sure all of it's challenging, but what was like the one that you're like, man, I got to get
Well,
to
you kind of nailed it. All of it was challenging
Yeah.
because for me, I was starting from square one, learning everything from actually square one. The rope drop was a challenge because even though Glenn and Bob and Larry had taught us how to do a high fall, I'm now hooked up to a mechanism, and I am trusting that this mechanism is going to stop me, right?
Yeah.
And the mechanism that we actually, what we call rope drop, is a Space Mountain braking system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
They were able to-
Glenn
yeah.
saw this, I think that'll work if we do.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
attach an Indy to it and
Yeah.
Yeah.
throw it out, see if it works.
People.
So like back in the day, that's kind of how we learned how to do it. We jumped out and learned how to take that fall. And that fall is 3 Gs on your body all the
Wow.
time. That's a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, and how to kind of navigate that over a 30-year,
Yeah.
period is amazing. So the rope drop was challenging.
Nothing on the airplane that was on fire spinning.
So
in
I was gonna say
that's
the
like the first place I went was like, how did you do that?
no, that's not that bad. I mean, coming off the plane is just being athletic again
Yeah.
and knowing where you are in the air, because there's only one part where you're really in the air and you got to make sure that you're getting to the concrete.
Mhm.
I would say the most challenging thing for any Indy in scene 3, which is our airplane scene, is how to roll on the concrete.
Mm.
And back in the day, we had to roll with a gun attached to our hip, right? And it's in a holster, but we had to roll with a gun.
Yeah.
And you couldn't damage that gun. You also didn't want to damage yourself and roll on.
Because every time you hit that on your
You're gonna
side,
bruise
on the
it.
you're going to be hurting yourself. That's
Right.
why, of course, we are all wearing wear pads. But sometimes it seems like you always miss. You hit the floor, right where that pad isn't hitting or whatever. But again,
I would say though, having done it for so long, and I think Michelle would agree with me, that the most challenging thing is to keep it fresh, to
Yeah.
keep
yes,
every single day that we go out there. We have to remember that there are people who have saved their money for a lifetime
yeah,
to come and see our show.
yeah,
And they don't want to sit there and watch performers who are just going through the
motions, yeah.
you know,
because you can
nobody
get
wants to see
on
that.
autopilot. And that's harder than doing stunts on the outside, like for film and television. If I'm doing something for film and television, you're doing it maybe, I don't know, you could be 1, 2, 5 times or whatever. When you're doing something over and over and over, he's exactly right. Keeping it fresh, making it feel like it's the first time. Like they haven't been saying no one's seen this show. You know what I mean? Keeping it fresh for us too, because it's not easy, because when you do it for so many years, you kind of get used to it. Like when I think about the hardest, our high fall that we do, now is, to me, I'm not scared of it anymore. I'm being honest with you. It's not, but there is a difficulty of doing it also with a partner when you're doing it with 2 people. So I know Kevin, he's like riding a bicycle, because I've been doing it with him. We've been doing it for so many years.
Yeah.
I know exactly where he's going to be. I know exactly his cadence, Indy, Marion, trust me, or hang on. I know his cadence and how he's going to do it, but it is difficult with some other people that you're working with, that you have to trust them too.
Mhm.
And know that if we're in the middle and we're in the air, we're doing our high fall. And if say one person is higher than the other, you need to let go. You do not want to keep holding hands, because what it's going to do is just start pulling the other one. Then you're not going to land flat on the mat like you should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's a lot of quick thinking.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
you can be. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Okay,
Well, we
so
did-
you're talking about all the performances you've had. Can you remember your first one? What was it like the first time you went out there?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so well. There's actually, I had two first performances, because we had a first performance where we thought our script was good enough to show to the public, but we still had not officially opened at that time. So we were kind of in a goldfish bowl, you know. People could come in. They were told this is not final yet. This
Yeah.
is not the final show,
Mhm.
but you're going to be watching a stunt show, and you know, we'd love your feedback on it. Tell us what you think. And so that was exciting. But what was really exciting was when we officially opened, and George Lucas was there, Michael Eisner was there, and I was the Indy who was fortunate enough to be
Wow.
picked to open the show.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
incredible. And
Yeah.
they had planned for, after I got rolled over by the boulder, you know, the actors come out and they ask if, you know, are you okay? Are you
Yeah,
okay?
Kevin, are you okay?
Right. Well, they also kind of incorporated George Lucas and Michael Eisner into that to come out and, you know, Kevin, are you okay?
I love
Yeah.
I'm okay, George.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That's
I
very
would say
cool.
that's pretty awesome.
It was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's so cool. What about you, Michelle?
Honestly, I mean, I can't
You can't remember.
I really can't remember. I mean, I'm sure I was nervous as I mean, I can imagine that I have been so nervous. Yeah, I can't, I'm sure my adrenaline was going, I mean, just, you know what I mean?
Well, if
Do you
if I remember correctly, you opened with Larry Lee, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so Larry was
yeah.
another one of our original indies at the
Indies, yeah.
time. And Larry Lee,
Yeah.
that was his
Yeah.
he is an amazing person, an amazing
Yes. He was from the circus, his circus
yeah.
performer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But-
and I'm sure he made you feel at
Oh
ease.
my gosh.
and-
Yeah, he totally, yeah. I
Yeah.
loved working with Larry. He was awesome. Just so comfortable, because that's one of the main things is you want to be, you know, we are.
But he wasn't your favorite indie, right?
Oh,
Oh, I know.
Fight.
I just had to get that in there. Sorry, Larry.
Sorry.
Can you do some fake punches now, like you're fighting?
Here's some real punches.
She hits me for real.
Do you know?
That's so
Do you have any idea how many shows y'all done? Have you kept track of how many shows you've done?
Oh my gosh.
Is that even
No.
a number you could think of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you-
Someone actually
someone
had,
did it years ago.
Yes.
Kevin Rainsberger did it.
was it at the 30th anniversary? right?
Yeah,
I think it was at our 30th
Yeah.
anniversary, which actually Michelle wanted to talk about later. But
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think they did figure out there was a number that they threw out. I could not tell
yeah.
you what it was.
I couldn't
so
either. Yeah. I mean, how many
was a
shows we
lot.
do and how, yeah,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
Well, I know we've probably seen the show. I mean, I've probably seen it 15 times.
Oh, yeah,
It's pretty,
definitely.
pretty easy.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yay.
We're kind of Disney junkies. I sell some Disney packages as a travel agent. So shameless plug, but
Yeah.
so we go a
I'm
lot.
sorry, your travel agency is what?
Yeah, you can just message me directly on Instagram. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
All right.
And I mean, I tell people, I'm
They
like,
probably have the Disney trip taken care of.
probably
Yeah.
so. I tell people I don't know anything about Cabo, Mexico, but I know where all the trash cans are in Disney World. Like you just
Yeah.
tell me what you want to do. But we've gone
you
so much that of course I think it's fun to know now about the, the plant and who's coming in and where they're
Yeah.
coming from. I'm always like on the lookout, which one, even before the show starts, it's just so fun. I love that show so much. I was sad when it was gone. I think we went right
So
after.
were we.
We were sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were very sad.
Yeah, and we go to Disney World some and go ride the Indy ride there, of course, but it does not compare to y'all's amazing work. But what do you think what is your favorite part of like interacting with the guests? I mean, so you get these guests on stage, they're going to be a part of it. Like, and I mean, is it so hard, and is it also so cool to do? Like I work
Okay.
It is one of the coolest parts of our job, but we have to straighten out one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Unfortunately, since we came back with COVID,
Right.
from COVID, the extras
They
from
have
our
not brought those
audience,
back.
Oh, really?
not
Okay.
a
They-
part of our show anymore.
No.
Okay. Because the
So-
last time we came, like the show wasn't back yet. So we actually didn't get to see the show the last time we were there because it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
on yet since. So yeah. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just and we don't know if it will ever come back with extras.
We're hoping that
We're
it
hoping
might.
it will because
We're really
we
hoping.
love that connection. We
Yeah.
love it. They love it.
They love it.
So we'll just see what happens. They just haven't brought that back yet.
Yeah.
So there are some changes in our shows since COVID. That we don't have a gun anymore. Indy does not have a gun.
Mhm.
And some of our props are different. We don't have swords. We have different, like a axial kind of thing. And so we just
But-
had it, but it's still,
The changes that were made were we're good.
we're good. Yes.
We're
And
good.
we
The
still
show
bring it.
itself is still wonderful.
Exactly. We still bring the same feeling, the epic feeling
Yeah.
that you're like, holy crap. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not looking at what's in your hand. I'm totally watching you fall off this building
Yeah.
and thinking, oh my gosh, how is she doing
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to go
As
to
a-
your
yeah, let's
question
go
though,
back to the-
about the families, it's actually one of the coolest parts of our job because we still do get to meet, they'll come to the wall at the
yeah.
end of the show, and Indies and Marion.
I have picked somebody who will bring me a picture that I've held their baby when they're like this. And next thing you know, they're 18 years old and I'm right next to them, which is super cool. They're like, oh yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's wow. It's
That's
pretty cool.
so
We have
cool.
some amazing, like super fans
Mhm.
that love us and that come all the time that, almost like groupies or whatever you want to, but they're our
Yeah.
friends. They're friends
Yeah.
and family. So love that. But just, it's so awesome to see the little kids, and it's funny is that, now the little kids have outgrown up and they're bringing their kids. So
Yeah.
it's still relevant. That's just so cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's still relevant now, just like it was 34 years ago.
Yep. So
You
now
know?
let's go into.
Yeah.
So there are families that have had their children come, like 20 some years ago,
Yep.
right? Or even 30
Yeah.
years ago. And the kids saw the show, kid loved the show.
Yeah.
And just wanted to be Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
and then got old enough
And now they're
and is one of our Indiana Jones.
how cool
Oh,
is that?
that's so cool.
What's his name?
So we have, well, that was
we've had a couple of them.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I think was it Chris?
Chris. Chris was not
Chris, not Chris, but yeah,
Yeah,
the other
the other-
Chris. There's his name was Chris. What's his last name? Oh
I
God.
can't remember.
Yeah.
That was a while back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so we've had a couple of those instances, but now there's even
One of the
members.
better ones. It
There's even
is.
members in our show who have been with it so long and have had children, and now their children are in our show.
Like
Yeah.
who?
Like you.
Oh, like my twin boys. So
Oh,
my
wow.
boys are in the show. I have twin boys. They're 26 years old, and they
uh-huh.
both do the show. They're both tumblers in the
Oh,
show.
that's so neat. Yeah.
So cool. I get to beat them up, and I get paid. Awesome. Yeah.
And then one of our indies,
Yes.
who is a very well-to-do stuntman in the
Film
film
industry.
business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
is his son.
His son is an indie now.
Wanted more than anything just to
Yep.
be Indy,
Oh,
and he
that's
grew up, and he auditioned, and he got the role, and he's now
I
one
mean,
of our best indies, like
yeah,
that
he's-
we've ever had.
how was he? 22, 23? I don't know.
Yeah.
24. I don't.
Yeah.
He's in it. Yeah. I mean, he's like one of my other sons. You know what I mean? And I'm doing a show with him, which is kind of
Amazing.
weird.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indiana Jones
But-
is totally timeless. I mean, we have our 25-year-old son. I probably every day wore the hat and carried the whip around. We definitely had a birthday, an Indiana Jones birthday party.
Aw.
Like,
Everybody does.
definitely. I mean, it is timeless. Everybody
Yeah.
loves Indy.
Exactly.
So
No.
over the years, okay, you still play Marion.
I
So
do.
you're pretty much doing the same thing. Kevin, what's your role now over the years? How's it changed?
So there are acting roles in the show, and I say that because when I tell you that I'm the director in the show, it sounds like I'm directing the show. I'm not.
Yeah.
I am an actor portraying a director or an assistant director, or actually the casting director. There's
Yeah.
3 acting roles in our show. So I have been cast in one of those or all 3 of those roles. And in addition to that, thankfully, I am still able to train the indies when they come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And so do you look at, are you in those roles and do you ever look at the Indy role and go, gosh, I missed that? Or are you like pretty content where you are?
Every day. There isn't a day that doesn't go by that I don't wish that I could still be doing it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Absolutely. If they'd let me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know I could still do it.
can
It
still
wouldn't
do
be
it.
as fast, you know, as the young bucks that are doing it right now. But Indy doesn't have to be fast. Indy's supposed to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
in
and
his 40s and 50s and 60s.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right. And witty. That's what
Yeah.
you gotta be.
Right.
And I also do the roles too as a director, assistant director, and casting director. So I auditioned for that because I wanted to just help myself further and just pushing myself into different direction also as I'm getting older to do other things too in the acting part. So I love doing it. It's so much fun to be the director, and because they didn't have women directors back then. So now we have you're seeing a lot more women, as we had a girl Tumblr before, but now we have a little bit more, that girl Tumblrs, girl directors, assistant director, and stuff like that.
And you're also
So-
portraying the stunt coordinator
Yeah.
on the set, right?
Yes.
And let me just tell you, I have worked for Michelle,
Oh,
Yeah, see, that's-
where she
I-
was the stunt coordinator on a small film that we did.
yeah.
yeah.
And you better know your stuff.
That's right.
It's as spicy as ever with her new knee.
That's right. That's right. I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up. You know, I
Yeah.
always knew that. I knew that other girls were coming up under me that were younger. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to be above them, or we're going to be here where I am not going to go below. If I am going below, then I got to be out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta find
So
something
it's
to
just
do.
something that I challenge myself also in, you
Yeah,
know? So, yeah,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
great.
Awesome.
Okay, Michelle, did you have a thought about the 30th anniversary? Kevin mentioned you had something you wanted to share about the 30th.
Being one of the most memorable, that was really a truly memorable moment, because we came out there and we had all of how many hundreds, how many hundred of our peers, meaning our ex cast members, came to watch us for the big 30th anniversary.
So Disney had
So, yeah,
invited
yeah.
anyone who had anything to do with our show, whether you were costume,
Or
whether you were
technician,
tech,
talent, whatever,
directors,
you got to come.
anybody
And
Wow.
who had
yes,
anything to do with our show, they were invited to come and be a part of the audience for our 30th anniversary show.
and literally, I remember the day before or whatever, we were having issues.
No.
Our show, our show is 34 years old. It's like, like an old car. Like you gotta, it needs a tune up, or, you know what I mean? Things break on it. Oh, you get a flat tire, or maybe the ball doesn't work, or, there was a lot of things happening, and also weather. We have to deal with a lot of weather issues, and we change our show to adapt to give the audience as much as we can.
Right.
So this, for the 30th, I was like, oh God, please, we want it to be the best. All
that
these
time,
people
it
came
was the
in
Boulder.
from, it was the Boulder. People came in from, California, here, there, all over. And that show was amazing. It truly, like, boom. I mean, am I right?
Yeah,
It was super. It was like, and the energy, you felt everybody, because everybody was in there. They were up out of their seats clapping for us. And it helped us even get, I was so good. It was
Yeah.
great.
That's awesome.
It was.
You were so good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got to beat up one of my sons for that time. We actually had to shill, where we got the person out of the audience.
Yeah.
And my son, Jake. And so I got to beat him up, and I was so proud of him, because, that is hard. It's very intimidating to do the stunts in front of your
Here's
peers who are watching every punch you do, making sure you're on.
Yeah.
And you make them read. And I was so proud of him, because he was on. We both were. It was amazing. So that was a great, memorable, really such a great thing. And also, when we came back from COVID,
that was amazing.
that was amazing too, because they let the cast members come see us first.
Oh, okay.
Cast members were like, they just brought us, like, it was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Made us feel so warm and welcome, like, we're back.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
it was
interesting, talking about the people watching you that they know what you're supposed to look like and what you're supposed to be doing. And, the rest of us, we're just kind of just
Right.
dumb party goers. I mean, we're just like, you look amazing. Like we,
Yeah, but
know what they're.
you may not know, like we were talking about this today, you may not know that you saw something, you know what, but you'll know when you see it, right? You're like, wow, look at that. Or, wow, you'll know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So fun. I love that you get to do that with your boys.
I know.
Boys, you like the chance to beat up your boys?
We have 3 boys. I'm going to see if I can talk them into that.
I'm gonna see if we can talk him into that. Yeah, I like that. I like that attitude. That's
Yeah,
I
I
like that. That's spunky.
You're like, oops, I accidentally hit you. I'm sorry.
We can still beat them at pickleball, but I don't know about the rest of that. So, okay. So, how did you find out that you were going to get to be on the red carpet? Like, tell me how that.
That show, I could remember that. Yeah,
that was the day of a lifetime for me. Yes, because I was asked to make sure that I was in the role of the director, right? So I did the first 3 shows. And as I'm walking off for the 3rd show, my proprietor is coming on stage and she's telling me to go back on stage. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll go back. So I'm going back on stage, and then I look around the Mayan carts, and our Ravon is coming around the corner, and then all of these cameras are coming around the corner, and I'm like, what is going on? Ravon announced to me at that time that I was going to be flown out +1 to California to be on the red carpet to watch the movie. Wow. And to possibly meet, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
If that was at all possible, that was going to happen.
Yeah. And he dropped his Gatorade and he was like, shut up. Like, really? What? Really? He was like, and I was like, on the side going, I was screaming.
Michelle was right there.
I was screaming. I was like,
wait, did you already know Michelle?
No,
you didn't know until like everybody got out at the same time.
No one knew. So this was we were like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. This doesn't happen.
I was so
something like this just doesn't happen.
And then I kind of went, maybe if you're watching this show or your kids, maybe.
Yeah. That's so incredible.
Yeah, how long did it take for you to decide that Michelle's going with you?
That she's your plus?
No, I have to give this to my wife because it was my wife's idea.
Yeah.
She suggested, it really should be Michelle, who was your Marion of 30 years.
Yeah.
It really should be her that goes out there.
That was so sweet. And I just was like so grateful. And I
asked Michelle, she went out and bought a dress.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, I'm ready. I was so excited.
That's so awesome.
We had the trip of a lifetime.
We
Seriously,
really
we did.
So magical.
Disney, I mean, they outdid themselves. It was awesome.
We were treated like stars.
Yeah. Well, we felt like I felt like a movie star on the red carpet. We just did. It was so amazing.
And then meeting Harrison Ford on the red.
What was that like? What was meeting Harrison Ford like?
Okay, that was just, it was almost surreal.
Yeah.
At one point, because we were led to different places on the red carpet because we didn't know, but they were trying to arrange for us to meet him, right?
Oh, okay.
And he was busy, but we didn't know this. We didn't know anything going on. And so we were led to the Hollywood Reporter, and we had a little interview that happened.
Yeah.
You may or may not have seen that.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And we got to stand in front of the wall where all the stars stand and, have your picture taken and go, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. That was crazy.
I know.
And then we were kind of escorted off to the side for a little bit. And then this beautiful blonde woman came up, grabbed my hand. I have no idea who she was, grabbed my hand, and she took me by the hand and led me away from where we were. And I had Michelle with me, thankfully. She was right on my arm.
Yes.
And she said, Harrison Ford, KEVIN BRASSARD, Michele Waitman.
Yeah.
And
it's
exactly. That's exactly what
you're
it was like.
You're just like, I don't know. Yeah. Just like, oh my gosh.
And he was so kind,
nice,
so generous with his time.
Yeah.
He's such a giving, I think, human, and he's amazing. He's amazing.
He was so nice,
and he knew who we were.
He knew who we were, and he took the time for us.
At least we felt he knew.
At least we thought we think so. I felt like he did.
A really good actor.
Well, I feel like he.
He is.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, he did a good job.
he's the caretaker of that role, so he probably knows whoever else is doing it. Because
Mhm.
he's very protective of, okay, nobody else is playing this role in the movies.
Yeah.
So he probably knows exactly who's playing him at the
Mhm.
different parks. I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
Well, when he said to me, "Oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
You're the guy that plays me in Florida."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
"Right,
That's so
that's
cool.
pretty awesome."
Yeah.
And his PR person may have told him that. I don't care.
It doesn't
He knew me.
matter.
Who
He still
cares?
did it. Yeah. I mean, you could
Don't ask
tell
questions.
that he was it just felt so genuine
Yeah.
and so nice.
Yeah.
It was
In
really,
fact,
yeah.
we thought we were done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The meeting was over.
Yeah.
And
He-
we were like, "Thank you so much." And he
Yes.
goes,
Well, you want to,
"Don't you want to?
yeah, do you want a picture? Yeah. And we're like, yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you meet someone like that, I think you totally lose your mind. You're not even thinking at that point.
Yeah.
It's true.
It kind yeah, you're right. Yeah. But it was just so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a culmination of all these years of working on the show.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Okay, before we finish, we're gonna rank our movies and our ins and outs, but we want to know which are your favorite indie movies. Mine is kind of controversial. So
Yeah.
Oh, really?
you've got Raiders, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Crystal Skull, and Dial of Destiny.
So what's your
What's your top one?
favorite?
I think that we all know who the top one is, but what do you think?
Don't put words in their mouth. Let
I am
them
kind of
decide.
I'm trying to sway the vote right now.
So I'm going to plug my ears and let Michelle tell you who hers is, because I don't want to know.
Go, Michelle.
Go.
Okay. Well, I for sure Raiders #1. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I actually I'm at Dial of Destiny for the second one. That's
Okay.
it. The next one I would say would be The Last Crusade
Okay.
Yep.
and Temple of Doom and then Crystal Skull.
Okay.
Michelle,
Yeah.
those are exactly mine. Those
Oh,
are
really?
exactly mine. Yes, exactly mine. So
Okay,
now,
let's see what Kevin's got.
All right,
Kevin's
so
right or wrong.
I have a huge problem because Raiders and Last Crusade are just like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are just so neck and neck.
Mhm.
And I think the thing that makes Last Crusade just that much ahead of it is Sean Connery.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, okay.
for me,
Oh,
it's
so Last Crusade is top.
Last
Yeah.
Crusade is your
Okay.
top
Last
one.
Last Crusade is my number one.
Yeah.
Raiders is number 2.
Oh, wow.
Indy 5 is
Yep.
number 3.
Okay.
Temple of Doom is 4, and of course
Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull.
the
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
Okay.
think about the Crystal Skull, Scott?
That's the controversial one.
That's the controversial
well,
one.
I have Crystal Skull above Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is my least favorite,
It's okay to be.
but I love them all. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
I mean, there's only a degree of these are awesome, and it's a
Mhm.
degree of awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't love Crystal Skull.
no, I
But,
still enjoyed
yeah.
it though.
So you didn't love it. Did you just watch it once? Wait.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so me too. And then recently I went back and watched it again.
Okay.
I would suggest that you do the same thing.
I'm going to too
Watch it
because
again.
he told me this same thing. We were talking.
It's not as bad as I remember.
I think that, and sometimes it's good to go
It
back
really
to
isn't.
go back to a movie and watch it again. So I will do that.
And
Yeah.
yet you also do me a favor and put yourself in that time frame. of
Okay.
What was really going on in that time frame?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
all about
Yeah.
aliens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All about aliens.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Okay.
All
And
right.
movie, Scott had to do that. He's very good at like if it's superheroes or whatever it is, he's like, but actually in the comic book, this is actually how it would have been written. Or he knows like the originality of all the things. Like he just knows all the things. So when we leave a movie, often he'll be like, well, let me tell you why all those things happen. And it makes more sense to me when he does. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I love that Dial of Destiny is near the top because I thought that was a great movie.
Mhm.
I did too.
I loved it. I
We-
loved it.
The stunt
I
work
loved
in
it
that movie.
Not just
I loved it too. I loved
it wasn't
I love
just because we were out in
Yes,
Hollywood
I
and
know.
on the red
Sometimes
carpet.
I try to say,
I loved
was it
it.
because of that? No, I know.
No.
I love the new characters too. I liked a lot of the
Yeah.
new characters in there. I really did like it a lot.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
The stunt
I-
work
I
and
think-
the tuck, that stunt work and the tuck was so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Little
Yeah.
car,
my
yeah.
gosh, I loved all that.
And
It
for
was
And
me,
so-
there-
and,
No, go ahead.
and probably Michelle as well. I think we like that one a lot more because
I know what you're gonna say.
the stunt cord or Harrison's stunt double is Mike Massa,
Yeah.
who we both
Yeah.
know.
We know, I know him
And
very well. Yes, yes.
He's,
Okay.
he's amazing.
amazing.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Harrison had a stunt double? He didn't do all that?
Well,
What?
Probably not. But also in that movie, Harrison, there's a couple of times where he made me cry. Just small lines that he said,
Oh yeah.
especially after we've all grown up with the character, and then there's just a couple of moments in there where I'm like, I'm crying at the end of the movie. I'm like, I'm in
Yeah,
a
I
Jones movie and
know.
I'm crying.
he's
So-
a good actor. He's
Yeah.
great.
Oh
Tell
yeah.
me,
He
you
is.
saw the magnet moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see the magnet moment?
Yeah.
What's the magnet moment?
I thought we talked about that, but
Uh-huh.
go
On the
ahead.
refrigerator?
Oh, yeah. On their, yes.
Magnet?
Yeah.
Uh,
They may
Yeah,
not. have
What
seen
was it?
I didn't.
I can't tell you.
You gotta watch it.
I gotta watch
We
it
have to
again.
watch it
Okay,
again.
we're talking about Indy 5, right?
Oh, Indy,
Yeah.
Indy 5. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Marion comes
at-
into the kitchen.
at
Yeah.
the very end.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you. Yes,
Okay, we're gonna have to watch. We'll watch.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Okay,
the
we'll have to
cliffhanger.
watch. I thought, okay, I thought
Yes.
maybe I missed a
Look again, look closely. He's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we have to go now because
Okay, we're gonna go watch the movie.
No, Kevin
But-
and Michelle.
This
go ahead.
it's been an honor. It really
Yes.
has.
Oh my gosh, the
Do we-
pleasure is
I
totally
know,
ours.
Thank you. Wanted to say something more. I know, sorry.
Yes.
You know, we've been doing this so much and it just, I love afterward, we talked about the fans, but just the little kids that just, it's just so cool, like listening to
Mhm.
them laugh and at moments in the show that are still, it makes you feel so good. Your heart feels so good. We have so many people afterward that just, love the show like you do, or, and they just, it's
Yeah.
just so rewarding. We get rewarded ourselves by
Oh, yeah.
working, doing this
Yeah.
show.
Yes.
So
And there are
It's
so
a-
many people that come down after the show
yeah,
and continue to thank us for what we're doing and,
yeah, yeah,
and keeping it alive. And,
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
hopefully that's
we've
what
had-
we've been able to
and no,
do.
like Kevin said before, is like, we haven't been working, we've been having fun all these years. And that's the truth. I mean, we go to some women will say to me, God, about working out and stuff. I said, I'm lucky. I get to go to work and play, and I get to work out. I get to have fun with my friends. I get to laugh. I
Yeah.
get to, and I really
fun.
enjoy, we enjoy what we do. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
really see it out there in the audience, especially afterward, they love it. It's so
Mhm.
great. Yeah.
We do love it. I promise you, we do love it.
Yay.
It's
We're gonna
always-
try to get there as soon as
gotta
we
get-
can.
Well, hopefully we'll see you there again with us there.
Yeah,
please
I
let us know
know.
when you're coming.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
let
we-
us know when you're coming.
Yes.
Totally
And
let you know when we're coming.
VIP seats
set you up.
and we'll set you up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Backstage tour. I know the person to do a backstage tour.
Who?
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Yeah, okay.
That would be so
That's
amazing. We
definitely
would-
a date though.
yes, that's definitely
Yeah.
right. We have to do that. That'll be so fun. It's the last time we went to Disney, I think just the two of us went, and we just did Epcot and we did the arts festival. I think we were there for 2
Yeah.
days. But I told him I would love to go to each park and spend just 2 days in each park from
Not rush
just
around.
and not rush around and just take our
Right.
time.
That's
You need
nice.
to be able to give yourself time so you're not so exhausted. And you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like our next one is the studios.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
No kids. We're
Right.
not inviting them anymore. We just love to just go ourselves.
Okay. All right.
It's
Good.
a little
good.
bit cheaper when you don't take 3 boys with you.
That's
Yeah, it is.
true. And let us know. Like I said, yeah.
will.
Like Kevin said. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Fantastic. Well, Kevin and Michelle, thank you so much for taking time with us today. It has been such an honor. So cool. I've been telling my clients, I have other clients that love Disney like we do. My clients that I do their hair, and they're
Right.
so excited. They're like, you're getting to talk to them. I'm like, I know, we've been watching them for years. It's so cool. So I have people
Oh, I
that are
love
so
it.
excited. And we
That's
just
awesome.
thank you so
That's
much for taking time with us
Thank you
today.
so much.
It's been-
Aw.
It's been our pleasure.
Yes,
Thank you
we
so
love
much.
doing
too.
it.
We're
Thank
honored
you.
as well.
Yes. Thank you so much. We had fun.
Do you think I need to watch Crystal Skull again?
I am always up for watching Crystal Skull again.
Well, maybe we will have to dive into that, and you'll have to give me a refresher course on like why I should love it, and then we'll watch it again.
Okay. You don't have to love it, but I think you can appreciate it more.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay, because it's
Yeah.
better than Temple of Doom. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay.
But we also need to watch Dial of Destiny again.
Yes.
Because they just gave us a teaser that there's something on the refrigerator in the last scene that we're supposed to check out.
and now we have to go watch it.
And we're going to pause it on there. We're going to zoom in. We're going to do all we can to find out what's going on in this refrigerator.
Yeah, I thought we talked about this or read something about it, but you don't know what they're
I don't
about.
remember this.
Well, we have to go do this right away.
Yes, we do.
All right.
So I say we watch Dial of Destiny first, and then we'll hit up Crystal Skull.
And then we'll go to Disney World and meet Kevin and Michelle in real life.
Okay, let's do it. Are we going tomorrow? Is this another surprise where we're going tomorrow? Do we have flights tomorrow, Rebecca?
Maybe. This just in. Also, spoiler alert, we went back and watched the end of Dial of Destiny after we talked to Kevin and he mentioned the whole magnet thing. It was really cool because it does happen at the beginning and the end of the movie. You've got to be paying attention. At the beginning of the movie, Indiana Jones covers up Marion's face with the magnet because they're having issues at that time and don't want to be talking to each other. So he covers her face. At the end of the movie, you have to be watching because very so slyly, he removes the magnet off the door because she's in the same room and he doesn't want her to see that he's actually covered her face with a magnet. So it's kind of tricky. It's also very heartwarming. They're trying to reconcile. They do in fact reconcile. Also, spoiler alert. We hope you enjoyed that and hopefully you'll go back and watch it too. Kevin, thanks for the fun tip. Party 5.5 over and out.